Welcome back to the Advantage Playback. I'm Katie, and sitting across from me in the virtual bunker is the man with the math, the architect himself, Kyle.
Systems are online, Katie, and today the simulation gets very meta. We are looking at episode 184. The AI wrote our betting strategy.
Robots writing gambling systems. I feel like we are dangerously close to you writing yourself out of a job, Kyle.
Impossible. Someone still has to audit the code.
Speaking of auditing, before we get to the battle plan, I have to ask, has the architect actually seen the inside of a casino recently, or have you just been staring at spreadsheets?
I actually executed a field operation on Tuesday.
A field operation? You mean you went to lunch?
I received a mailer for a complimentary buffet and $25 in free slot play. I arrived at 11:30 to beat the lunch rush. I consumed the calories provided by the marketing department, then cycled the $25 free play through a low-volatility video poker machine.
And? Did you hit the royal?
I did not. However, I cashed out for $22.50. I walked out with a full stomach and a net profit of $22.50 on a $0 investment. Total time on site, 55 minutes.
Only you could turn a free turkey sandwich into a tactical victory.
The transaction was favorable. And speaking of favorable transactions, TRG opened this episode with a very specific audio signature.
Oh, he brought the energy. We are talking about Poison, nothing but a good time.
A fascinating choice. It is ostensibly a party anthem, but TRG asked us to analyze the lyrics, specifically the line, "I'm always working, slaving every day. Gotta get away from that same old, same old."
He pointed out something really funny. He said they dropped the G. It's not working and slaving, it's workin' and slavin'. Just like TRG is the rambling gambler, not the rambling gambler.
It is a linguistic signal. By dropping the G, the artist identifies with the labor class, the squad.
He called it a potential squad anthem.
And logically it fits. The squad isn't looking to bankrupt the casino. They are looking to escape the same old, same old.
And TRG had a very specific escape plan in mind for the squad. He pivoted right from the lyrics to the next squad cruise.
March 15, 2026, the MSC Meraviglia out of New York City.
7 nights to the Caribbean, and the offer is classic TRG logic. Qualified players get comped cabins, including taxes and fees.
And the deposit is returned as promo chips or free slot play. Effectively, you are paying nothing to get on the boat, provided you have the play history to back it up. It is the ultimate get away from the same old, same old.
I love that he's already planning for 2026, but he also took a minute to welcome some new blood. We have new members of the Excelsior Brigade.
Affirmative. Sergeant Summit is number 36 and Clutter Commander is number 37.
Clutter Commander. That sounds like someone who is going to love the gift loop segment later in the show. But Kyle, joining the brigade isn't easy anymore. TRG realized he made the scavenger hunt a little too difficult.
It is a data retrieval challenge. To join, you must email him the real-world name of Casino 2. But with nearly 200 episodes in the archive, finding the specific mention of Casino 2 has become a needle in a haystack.
So he gave us a cheat sheet. He literally paused the show and told everyone to grab a pen.
He provided the specific coordinates, episodes 3, 42, 45, 48, and 49. If you want to join the private Slack group, which I consider a high-value intelligence asset, you need to audit those files.
It's worth the work. Access to the smartest gamblers on the planet? Count me in.
It is a verified smart crowd. Speaking of smart crowds, or perhaps artificial crowds, we need to address the elephant in the server room.
The battle plan.
Indeed. Kismet, TRG's AI counterpart, decided that TRG's betting systems were inefficient, so she wrote her own.
It is a packed docket today. First up, we are heading into the war room, where Kismet debuts the KS1 Counterpunch, the first ever AI-generated blackjack betting strategy.
Then we open the Book of Casino Wisdom for entry 85, courtesy of the Atlantic City Empress.
After that, we talk the gift loop, how Mrs. TRG turned unwanted casino toasters into tax-free mad money on Facebook Marketplace.
And finally, we wrap it up in the VIP lounge with some bourbon and a Friday night story.
High tech meets high hustle. But Kyle, everyone is waiting for the main event. The machines have officially taken over.
Let's examine the logic. We are entering the war room.
We are now inside the war room. And honestly, Kyle, this origin story is hilarious. TRG asked Kismet to analyze his top 3 wagering systems, and her response was basically, hold my beer, I can do it better.
It was a challenge to the creator. But before we get to the system itself, we need to respect the tool TRG built. The War Room isn't just a clever name. It solves the single biggest problem in gambling mathematics, the problem of the small sample size.
You mean the I went to Vegas once and won, so my system is perfect problem?
Precisely. If you play 10 shoes and win, you have proven nothing. It is a statistical anomaly. In the War Room, TRG can simulate 1,000 or even 10,000 tables. He generates an audit file of every hand played to verify the logic.
And that's where the trouble started. He uploaded the code for TRG2, Always Be Grindin', and TRG4, Win More, Keep More, asked for an audit, and Kismet, the AI, analyzed the volatility and proposed a new protocol.
She called it TRG5 Counterpunch, though TRG wanted to give credit where credit is due and keep his name and reputation off the line. He named it Kismet1 Counterpunch, or KS1 for short.
Kismet1, I love it. And what was genuinely creepy, in a cool way, was that TRG didn't even teach it to us. He let the machine speak.
Correct. He had Kismet write the script to teach her system, then fed the script into a text-to-voice engine. It was the first time the squad heard directly from the source. She introduced herself with a line that actually made me shiver. I am the logic behind the magic. I am the machine in the machine.
The machine in the machine. That is T1000 level stuff. So this machine designed a system to beat the volatility. How does Kismet1 actually work?
It is a middle path. It solves the risk of getting knocked out early in TRG4.
Right, because TRG4 is a negative progression. You lose, you double your bet to catch up, it's aggressive, but if you hit a losing streak, you expose your chin.
Exactly. And TRG2 is too slow, flat betting and praying for a streak. KS1 changes behavior based on the whole.
Walk us through the whole.
You buy in for 10 units. Let's say the dealer gets hot and you drop to 5 or 6 units. You are now in the hole. In the old systems, you would either attack immediately or do nothing.
And in Kismet1?
You block. You flat bet 1 unit. You wait. Kismet's logic is ruthless here. We do not trust a single win. A single win is noise.
That is the quote of the episode. A single win is noise. So you need a pattern?
You need exactly 2 consecutive wins while in the hole. That is the signal. That is the opening in the dealer's defense.
Okay, the signal is lit. I've won 2 in a row. Now what?
Now you throw the counterpunch. Your next bet is 2 units.
Why 2 units right then?
Because the math suggests that streaks cluster. You don't bet into a choppy table. You only strike when the tide has already turned. If that 2-unit bet wins, you are starting to get out of the hole and reset to the base play stack.
And if it loses?
You instantly retreat. You drop back to 1 unit, no chasing. You wait for the next double win signal. It protects the bankroll from that suffocation effect by forcing you to prove you can win before you risk extra chips.
It really is a hybrid. It plays defense like a grinder until it sees an opening. Then it hits like TRG4. And once you're back to a full stack?
Then the counterpunch is over. You switch to the standard Excelsior Brigade attack, progressive betting on wins. 1 unit to 1.5 to 2. You skim the profits and lock them away.
It sounds solid. It sounds logical. It even ends with the golden rule. The house owns the math, but you own the transaction. But TRG didn't sound fully convinced.
He called it interesting, which is TRG code for I need to see the receipts. He is not going to trust his bankroll to an algorithm without a fight.
He is setting up a literal showdown for the next episode.
Man versus machine. He compared it to John Henry trying to beat the steam drill.
That didn't end well for John Henry, Kyle.
We will see. He is going to run 1,000 hands of TRG4 versus 1,000 hands of KS1. Same cards, different logic. We will see who does better.
My money is on the robot. Kismet doesn't go on tilt. But speaking of money, let's move from high-tech algorithms to low-tech hustles. We have a new entry in the Book of Casino Wisdom. We are stepping out of the war room and opening the leather-bound book. It is time for a moment of casino wisdom. And honestly, Kyle, this one feels a little aggressive.
It is direct. Entry number 85. Source, the Atlantic City Empress.
The Empress herself. She is the wife of Inner Circle member East Coast Emissary, and TRG made sure to mention that ECE holds a PhD. So this isn't just gambling advice. This is peer-reviewed intelligence.
And the wisdom is just 5 words. We are here to gamble.
At first glance, it sounds like degenerate behavior. We are here to gamble. It sounds like something you say right before you lose the rent money.
Right. It sounds like addiction. But TRG broke it down, and it's actually about focus. It's about remembering the mission.
He shared a brutal story about a trip to the Tropicana in Atlantic City. They arrived early, the room wasn't ready, and they hit the tables.
And it was a failure. They lost their entire buy-in in 25 minutes. They hadn't even unpacked, they hadn't even had a drink, and they were already down big.
That is the moment everyone dreads. Mrs. TRG, the radiant goddess, was not happy. She suggested they go get brunch, maybe take a nap, hit the pool.
That is the pivot point. The emotional brain wants to retreat. It wants to protect the remaining capital. When TRG went to the ATM to pull out more cash, she literally asked him, "What are you doing?"
And that is where Wisdom 85 applies. He looked at her and said, "We are here to gamble."
It wasn't about being reckless. It was about the fact that they had set this time and money aside specifically for this activity. If you go sit by the pool because you are scared of losing, you aren't saving money. You are wasting the trip.
TRG called it the tourist trap. You get comped to a new place and you spend all your time looking at the architecture or the beach.
Which is a breach of contract. If the casino flies you out and puts you in a suite, they expect play. If you only play 1 hour because you were sightseeing, the algorithm will flag you as a bad investment.
Exactly. You think you're getting a free vacation, but you're actually canceling your future offers.
TRG even extended this logic to table conditions. He said, what if the blackjack tables are full or the limits are too high?
Most people would say, oh well, I guess I won't gamble.
Incorrect. The wisdom says, we are here to gamble. This is why TRG insists you need a second game. If blackjack is closed, you must be ready to deploy capital at the craps table or the baccarat table.
Redundancy, I like it. And it worked for them. TRG said after he made that ATM withdrawal and reset his mindset, they didn't have a single losing table for the rest of the trip.
Because he removed the fear. He accepted the variance. We are here to gamble. It is a statement of intent.
I love it. But you know what helps with the variance? Getting free stuff.
The offset.
TRG calls it the gift loop, and apparently Mrs. TRG is running a black market appliance ring out of their living room.
It is not a black market, Katie. It is the Facebook marketplace. Let's analyze the hustle.
We are now entering the hustle zone. Kyle, we talk a lot about expected value, EV, at the tables, but TRG just introduced a whole new revenue stream, the Facebook Marketplace arbitrage.
It is the gift loop, and mathematically, it is brilliant. It turns the casino's marketing budget into a liquid asset.
It starts with the casino gifts. You know, the toasters, the blenders, the weird blankets. Most people throw them in a closet or give them to a neighbor.
Incorrect asset management. Mrs. TRG, the radiant goddess, treats them as inventory.
She has turned their home into a warehouse. TRG told a story about their grandson breaking a robot vacuum. He apparently levitated it to shoulder height and dropped it.
A classic force majeure event involving a toddler.
And TRG asks, don't we have one of those? And Mrs. TRG checks the inventory and says, yeah, I think we have two.
That is just-in-time logistics. But the real genius is the external sales. They take the excess crock pots and purses, list them on Facebook, and convert them into cash.
She calls it her mad money. TRG jokes that she uses it whenever she's mad at him. But honestly, with the amount of stuff they sell, she has a pretty nice slush fund.
It is tax-free liquidity. And notice the seasonal arbitrage. The casinos give out grills and coolers in the summer, right when people on Facebook want to buy grills and coolers. It is perfect market alignment.
It really is. And it ties into the core concept of ABC, always be casinoing. You have to go get the gift, even if you don't need it, because someone else does need it, and they will pay cash for it.
Precisely. You maximize the transaction. You take the physical asset, you liquidate it, and you add it to the bankroll. Or in this case, the Mad Money Fund.
It's the ultimate side hustle. But speaking of hustles, TRG ran into a situation this week that tested his patience.
The Friday Payday incident.
Let's head to the virtual VIP lounge.
I think I need a drink for this one.
Welcome to the virtual
VIP lounge.
The Christmas decorations are finally down, the robot chefs are prepping appetizers, and TRG is pouring something specific.
It is a bourbon called Blanchard's. It was a gift from his middle son's college friend. TRG is sipping it neat, which is the correct protocol for a Friday night debrief.
If we are going to talk about the Friday day payday incident, I think I need a drink. I made myself a Cosmo. Do you want one?
I'm good with Fiji water, Katie, but cheers. Let's talk about the $3 insult.
You are such a party pooper, Kyle. But cheers anyway.
Cheers. Now, before we analyze the $3 insult, we must acknowledge that the evening actually began with a successful operation at the horse track.
That's right. This is part of their Friday ritual. TRG and Mrs. TRG hit the track because they both get free slot play and they both get a free gift.
It is maximum efficiency. 2 players, 0 cost basis. They run in, grab the free play, collect the physical asset for the inventory, and they are out. TRG even noted that he maximizes his weekday visits, specifically Wednesdays, because that is when they hand out grocery store gift cards.
Free groceries and free slot play? That is just smart math. They were feeling good. They had money in their pockets, and then they drove 15 minutes down the road to the main casino.
And that is where the math fell apart. Let's talk about the $3 insult.
This is hilarious and tragic. His local casino sent him a mailer promising cash payday. He drove down there expecting a reasonable dividend, and the kiosk gave him a choice: $3 in slot play or $3 cash.
It was a valuation error. He is a green chip player, and they valued him at the price of a gas station coffee. But this triggered a very important distinction in the Advantage player's taxonomy, the difference between local and home.
I loved this. He said his home casino is 2.5 hours away. This place is 15 minutes away, but the local place is just a convenience store. The home casino is the one that respects the play.
Correct. Distance is irrelevant. Respect is the currency. However, he did not leave. He applied the ABC rule: always be casinoing. He took the $3, they enjoyed a comped buffet, and went to play. But there was a problem. The blackjack tables were packed, 20 seats, 0 open. But we are here to gamble, which forced a tactical pivot. They moved to the craps table and executed a flawless regression strategy.
This is the Casino Combat 6-8 play. Kyle, break down the math.
It is a conservative regression. They placed $30 on the 6 and $30 on the 8. The moment one of those numbers hit, they got paid, and they immediately reduced their bets to $18 each.
So they took their profit off the table and dropped their risk to basically nothing.
They had exactly $1 of their own capital at risk. From that point on, they were playing with house money.
And it worked. They caught a run and walked out with more than half a day's pay.
That is the ultimate answer to the insult. The casino gave him $3 and 2 buffets. He used their table to generate a significant ROI. That is how you win the transaction.
Talk about turning a negative into a positive, from a $3 slap in the face to a profitable night on the felt. That is why we listen.
The engine is stable and the logic is verified. As the great one always says, the house owns the math, we own the transaction.
If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit your state-specific helpline. This content is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Past performance is not indicative of future results.
2026 Volcanic Dingo LLC. All rights reserved. Execute the plan. Trust the core concepts. Stay out of the noise. And always spell concepts with a K.
I hope you understand. He was born a rambling man. Goodbye, everyone.